20 years ago, I was an engineering student and I learned to code, maybe like some of you, in a small room full of great computers, very big computers. Luckily, I had a teammate because there was one computer for two of us. So we were just sitting the side of each other, trying to fit in front of the computer, switching the keyboard from one to the other to write the code. And I remember that I hated when it didn't work. I hated when the code didn't work. I hated when we'd had to do the same exercise, but slightly differently, because the teacher wanted us to find a new method. And I remember that I enjoyed it tremendously when the code worked. And even more, I enjoyed it when it was simple and elegant. And what I can say right now, as I look back on this period, was that what I was looking for was consistency. I'm here today as the General Secretary of the Digital Tech Industry Strategic Committee. So the title in French is even longer, but the mission is very straightforward. Our goal is to improve and raise the market share of the French digital industry. And what may sound like a sales development issue or a business development issue is really, and we've come to discover it over the past few months, a coding issue. Because what you have when you have an American tool is that you have a tool that is so easy to use, so consistent. You have the deeper stacks, you have the softwares, everything is included, so you go to one place and you're going to find everything. The difference in France is that we have many tools, many great tools, many amazing engineers, but we have so many different companies and software that someone wanting to buy different things will have to go to different places and to different companies to have the full capacity that she or he is looking for. And that's a problem for the industry market share. That's the reason why we launched this initiative called Open Interop inside the Comité Stratégique de Filière to unite and to try to find some standards and to try to build interoperability between different tools. Consistency can be easy to build in different contexts. And I have two countries in mind building really great consistency regarding digital tools. The first one is China. When you look at the tools and the industry, you can see that it's politically decided. If you're a business leader or even a billionaire, you're going to decide until one point, but the government and the politics are going to decide for the rest of it and the rest of your life. So it's a consistency that is politically produced. If you look at the United States, they have an amazingly efficient and brilliant tech ecosystem, an amazing innovation and financing capacity, and of course we strive to achieve it, and we want to achieve a similar context. But if you look more closely, you will see that behind it there are some motto of the tech industry in the United States that I think we have all heard about, which are, for instance, hire fast, fire faster, turning you into a kind of a human robot, not really attached to a company because you can be fired from one day or another and have to leave with your little box, as we've all seen in movies. Or other mottos like move fast and break things. And I have to say the United States are very consistent with their mottos because they are literally breaking things in the whole world right now. So obviously we're trying to do things differently. I would say the European way, maybe a slower way, or a way that sounds more messy or a bit more boring. But I think that is much more consistent and efficient in the long run. what we are trying to build is a coalition of companies, so having competitors sit around a table and identify some standards, some protocols, some specifications to build not one tool that would absorb everything, but many tools that will work together to provide an amazing digital service. It's a huge task, and you may say that it's too ambitious for our strategic committee or even for our French ecosystem. But we are quite lucky because you have probably seen that there is a momentum for digital sovereignty. There is a momentum for thinking about these digital and strategic challenges, and there is a momentum that everyone has perceived. And this is why, just behind us and close to us, there are many other organizations working about this interoperability issue. There is the initiative Open Bureau, which has been launched a few weeks or months ago by Linagora. There is the initiative of the Caisse des Dépôts, with which we work closely. The Caisse des Dépôts is launching a tech sprint on July 1st to have a CIO coalition working on some specific tech issues like VMware or Active Directory and try to identify ways on how they can switch on other alternatives, European alternatives. There is the Digital Interministerial Direction for Digital Matters, DINUM, and they are clear today that they want to contribute on these interoperability challenges. And there is also AW2, of course, which will be hosting this initiative. And finally, there is the European Union, which is very proactive on these matters and which really tries to empower all European companies, European tech companies, to speak together, to find some common standards and protocol, to have data that will communicate and move from one company to another to provide to consumers a service that is well integrated and very consistent. So my ask today for you is that we're gonna need help to build bricks of interoperability, open source commons, to run this work of converging towards some standards, some protocols, some specifications. We need all the help we can get, and we want to reach out to you to say it's an ambitious challenge, but it's the right moment to achieve it together. Thank you.